The social challenge, an in-depth look at the impact of social media on all walks of life.
This morning we are digging into a darker side of social media. It's aimed at young people. The same place they use to connect is also where they could find just about anything for sale.
Yeah, literally. NBC senior national correspondent Kate Snow joins us with more on this one. Kate, good morning.
Good morning, Craig. I think this is going to be eye-opening for a lot of us, especially for parents. And in a way, it makes sense. Everyone is using social media. Young people spend hours on it every day, right? So criminals peddling illegal goods are also using social media to reach customers, sometimes putting young people in grave danger. Social media is all about connection. But criminals want to connect too, advertising everything from fake documents like driver's licenses, passports, and bank statements to illegal vaping liquids, even cheap guns and ammo. Who is using social media to make sales?
Everybody.
Tim Mackey is an associate professor of global health at UC San Diego.
If you're a good marketer for any company, you're on social media. So you have to be, even as a criminal, a multi-channel marketer. You have to have a presence.
His startup has a government contract to develop technology to find potentially illegal content.
If you're just following a hashtag like save animals or something like that, you might actually get exposed to wildlife trafficking.
Rhino horns, Capuchin monkeys, or tiny leopard and lion cubs on Facebook. But some of the most dangerous activity is from drug dealers.
And what they'll do is they'll look for hashtags that are related to people undergoing, substance abuse crises. And then they'll post to there about the availability of drugs.
Comments on Instagram offer OxyContin, Adderall, Percocet, sometimes misspelling words to avoid being flagged. A post showing a young woman in a hospital bed drew a comment offering fentanyl. Dealers ask buyers to connect with them on encrypted messaging apps, then deliver. Ed Turnan's son Charlie died after buying what he thought was a prescription painkiller through a dealer on Snapchat. It was a counterfeit fentanyl pill.
My first reaction was, I want to blame Snapchat, and I want to go get them, and I want to sue them. And when you think about it a little bit more deeply, we made the decision that we were not going to try to get revenge, but we'd be better to try to get results.
We first told the Turnan story here on Today in February. They say they want to work with Snapchat. After that aired, Snapchat reached out, and now they're working with the Turnan family's foundation, Song for Charlie, on a campaign to warn Snapchat users about the danger. Given everything you've been through, the tragedy you've been through, what do you tell parents?
The drug landscape has changed. It's not, as we were taught, a journey where you can get on the wrong path. These days, it's more like a minefield for our kids, where their next move could be their last.
Snapchat says we strictly prohibit using Snapchat for drug transactions and illegal purposes and aggressively enforce against these violations and support law enforcement investigations. In a statement, Facebook told us we don't allow the sale of illicit drugs, endangered animals, or weapons on Facebook or Instagram, and we use technology, reports from our community, and reviews by our teams to enforce these policies. If we find that content or an account breaks our rules, we remove the content or disable the account. On Instagram, if you search for certain hashtags like #drugs, a warning now pops up that what you're searching for can cause harm or death. But is all that enough?
We believe that they would be removing a lot more if they were held liable, if they could be sued.
Gretchen Peters heads the Alliance to Counter Crime online. The social media companies say they're doing a lot. They're screening, they're monitoring. Is that true?
They're not doing a lot. The number of moderators that these firms employ is just tiny. We ran the numbers with Facebook. The number of moderators per Facebook user would be the equivalent of the state of Ohio having one policeman.
So we asked Facebook for comment on that overnight and didn't hear back. Gretchen Peters would also like to see social media platforms restrict searches on certain terms related to illegal sales. Her coalition and other activists are lobbying to change laws so that social media companies would be liable for content created by users. Meanwhile, Ed Turnan says he's hopeful that with Snapchat stepping up on the issue of fentanyl pills, guys, that maybe other social media platforms will voluntarily do more.
It's good to see that the Turnans have taken that tragedy and turned it into some good. Kate Snow for us. Kate, thank you.
Thank you, Kate. We turn now to Al and get another